Your voice is annoying. You can ramble on about anything for way too long, and I don't understand why you even make videos. What's up, YouTube? Jason here with Jason Bytes back, episode numero cinco. If you guys are not familiar with this series is a series of which I go back and I answer questions, respond to comments over the last, give or take, some 30 days. And apparently because I talk too much and ramble, I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. I do want to say, as always, this series is brought to you by my awesome Patreon subscribers. I don't know why they are still here, but I will have some updates on the potential future of Patreon for me. And their names will be listed at the end of this video. But yeah, there is a future Patreon thing going on. I need to actually look into it a little bit more, try to verify some. But Patreon has, well, they have a long history of just being a little sketch on some issues. But they also recently have come under fire for some things that I actually I can't really deal with. You guys can look into it. I don't want to say anything on a video just because YouTube will probably just take everything down. But to all my Patreon subscribers out there, thank you for being with me for as long as you have. That's going to be the biggest problem I have with getting rid of Patreon, is that I have some Patreon subscribers that have been around since 2017. So probably the final month before I get rid of Patreon, I'm going to do like a little tribute to all of my longest Patreon subscribers and just call them out name by name. Maybe even roast them or talk about them or something. I don't know. That's going to be a Jason Bytes Back thing in a month, maybe two. I'll tell you right now, before I get to the question, I'll tell you right now. As it sits in my life, if you guys don't know, I was getting divorced and I finally got divorced. The ink is dried and I'm officially a single man. We went to court. We fought it out. The judge kind of sort of gave me what I wanted, but I have to pay the wife money. So that's kind of been where I'm at in the last couple months, at least, where I'm scrambling to try to figure out and balance a lot of things on my end, primarily focused on the financial aspect, fighting these interest rates, and making sure that I can afford to stay where I am. The judge said I can stay here, but the interest rates are starting to tell me that I need to make more money. So I know videos have taken longer, videos have felt rushed, and that is literally because like every freaking waking moment is me trying to do something to earn a few extra dollars in order to make sure I'm in a better position to get refinanced, and just get everything in my life under control. The solution ultimatum, the end of that is going to be in the January, February timeframe. So yeah, hopefully things after that will get better. Or depending on how that actually goes, things could get worse. I don't really know. I'm trying to work through some things right now. Let's say the house is on fire and I'm trying to put it out. But again, I talk too much. Let's move on. Let's go to the very first question. That is going to be from Ace Boy. This is about my Plex versus MB rebuilds. He says, kind of off topic, but interested on a video of the remote desktop, both setting up the sources, etc., etc. I'm not sure how well they played with. Okay. So this is a question about remote desktop, and I have a perfect answer for that. You see, back in the day, everybody used TeamViewer, and that was just the easiest way to install a client on whatever computer you want the potential to be able to remote manage, whether it's your own, your family members, or friends who are computer illiterate, where when they have a problem, you want to be able to log in, get everything fixed, and be done with it, and not actually have to drive or go somewhere in order to fix it. TeamViewer has since said, screw everybody. We only want to charge exorbitant amount of money to large businesses and basically cut out all the plebs that just want to use it casually. I was super irritated with this because they didn't give me any option for a very generic, maybe once or twice a month usage of like $5 or $10 subscription service. Instead, they're like, I haven't checked on this in a while, but they're like, no, it's $50 or $100 or $200. It's kind of ridiculous. So anyways, now I rely on a program called AnyDesk. AnyDesk. So AnyDesk installs, it allows you to remote manage. You kind of have to keep your own little phone book of, connected devices, but that's fine because when it really comes down to it, I use remote desktop maybe 2 or 3 times a month. However, I can install AnyDesk on multiple devices, and just in case I ever need to connect to them, I got a little list inside my phone that keeps those numbers, and I can connect to those in a case of emergency. So AnyDesk right now is kind of my go-to Windows remote management software. Next question is from Dylan888. This is on the PeCroN E1000, kind of an old battery at this point, but he said, no doubt in my mind that this guy was paid by PeCroN. Can the PeCroN power a full-size refrigerator like the Jackery 1000, capable of case and of power outage? Of course not. Two things. One, I absolutely love comments like this. It's like you get excited about a product and you like truly believe in it, especially after dumping 20 hours of testing into a product, and then you genuinely get excited about it. All of a sudden you're a shill. So you are not successful, or like people don't either love you or hate you unless they say you're a sellout. I love that. Nobody pays me for anything. Two, running a full-size refrigerator. I feel like that's an ignorant comment, meaning that you have absolutely no idea what a full-size refrigerator requires for power, and it will absolutely run a full-size refrigerator. Maybe only for like 6 to 8 hours, but it will absolutely do it. Next question. Skynet81 says, so what about Jellyfin then? Great question. Well, Skynet, when it comes to Jellyfin, this has been something I've avoided for a while. And there's one main reason, and it's remote access, or specifically the ease of access of remote access. I don't share my library with very few people. Very, very few trusted, close friends and family members have access to my Plex server. However, the people that I do share it with are willfully, technically disadvantaged. Like technically disadvantaged. They don't know computers. They don't know setting things up, port forwarding, IP. They don't understand any of that, and they don't care. They don't want to. Plex is great. It's you log in, you have access to what was shared for you, and it freaking works. It doesn't matter what device, where you are. As long as you got an internet connection, it works. Jellyfin, not so much. Bear in mind, this is at least a year or two ago information, but I'm pretty sure it's the same. In order to get Jellyfin remote, yes, you can configure it. It's something you can do. But if you're trying to share this with somebody who can barely turn on a computer, do you really want to go through and walk them through how to access your server remotely and deal with all of that? Absolutely not. That's why Plex has been so attractive to me, because it is so easily used to just the common person. The grandmothers, the grandfathers, the aunts, the uncles, cousins, people who just don't care about technology. They just want it to work. Jellyfin, on the other hand, is just one of those things you kind of have to get to work. And if you have any problems, you're going to have to deal with it yourself, because they have no idea what. I will talk about Jellyfin eventually on this channel, but it's the remote access. It's the I already have Plex set up. It's the whatever. That's just making me not that excited about it. MB, on the other hand, I've been playing with MB, doing a couple things. I'm working on another MB video right now, and it feels a lot closer to Plex, and there could be a time, possibly, just because there's a few things with MB that I'm like kind of liking right now. There could be a time where I might transition some of my shares, like as far as family and stuff like that, over to the MB platform. No guarantee, but it's a possibility. Next question is coming from Football Dude. Was that football? I don't know. He says, can you use a serial number to deactivate in a Blueiris and move it to another computer? Yes. Next question. Next question is from Atay Lankry. Now this is on the Acer RAM video. I want to say I'm sorry about that video. Almost 12 minutes video about RAM. You're absolutely right. I want to give a little backstory. I'm sorry. I got a request to do a review on this RAM, and when I accepted that request, I had in plans to build a DVR server that was 12th gen Intel based. Because of my divorce and how much somebody decided to employ some questionable tactics to make it as expensive for me as possible in hopes that I would not be able to go all the way through with it, I put that plan on hold. I've already accepted the RAM, so it sat around for multiple months until finally I felt guilty because they emailed me and I had to make a video about it. I was not excited about it. I was not good at that review, and it is what it is. I can promise you this, that unless RAM is going to be featured in a future build and sponsored, like a RAM is going to be sponsored for a different build, I will never do a dedicated RAM review video ever again. I was so not into that video. Next question is that is actually the last question. So guys, I try to run through this as fast as possible. Looks like it's already 37 minutes. I'm going to chop the ever-living crap out of this to try to get this thing down to like 18 minutes. I don't know if I can. Sorry, I talk a lot. I do want to close this. Yes, again, I'm divorced. I have to give the wife a bunch of money. And who knows, at the end of February, I might be looking for a new place. And that is not necessarily the ex-wife's fault. That's the government. That's the whole Biden freaking whatever's going on. I'm not even going to get into that. But the interest rates have more than doubled since I originally got the approval to take this house on as just the sole, responsible owner of the house. Right now, I'm just trying to get money to pay off the lawyers, to balance some of my debts in order to make that happen. On top of that, I know I'm going to be canceling Patreon. I want to cancel Patreon right now, but realistically, when it comes to like reliable, reportable, usable income for getting approved for a house, Patreon is part of that. So to cancel that right now would not be a good idea, just because I'm at a very critical point of my financial stability. To get that approval, I can't afford to get rid of it, even if it's a couple $100 a month, which is what Patreon is. I just can't afford to lose that right now. But after all this is said and done, I really do think I'm going to get rid of Patreon. And because I don't really think I deserve for people to give me money anyways, I don't even know if I'm going to replace that with anything. So just a fair warning for all you Patreon people out there, that could be coming to an end in 1, possibly 2 months. And I don't feel bad about that. Like, it sucks because I'm just going to lose money and it could affect me. But based off of what I've heard about some of the accusations over at Patreon, I just can't support that. I can't get behind it, and I don't want to be associated. I hope you guys understand. And hopefully you guys can understand that, yeah, some of the videos are delayed, but I am just hustling on my end, behind the scenes, trying to find ways to balance my stuff. I no longer have a home entertainment center that I purchased, right? I am in the process of selling my entertainment room TV stand for probably bottom dollar prices because it's a little older, but it's an 80-inch. Like, I'm in the process of getting rid of a lot of crap and reducing everything just to make sure I don't have to lose my studio, my house, something that I legitimately really wanted to put a family in someday. So, I'm like in panic when it comes to that stuff. That doesn't matter to you, but I just hope you can, stick with me through this next few months. So as always, thank you for everybody who has stuck with me. I'm sorry I've let you down. Hopefully you can forgive me, and hopefully once all this is over, I can start to get much better. Yes, solar batteries, that's always going to be a thing, or at least it will for the foreseeable future, but I'm definitely going to try to get more into the media server thing, especially in 2023 when I redo my best Plex Client Showdown video, which might be later because I want to make sure some of the new stuff comes out before I do that. So as always, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe below. If you have any complaints or want to insult me, honestly, I eat all that up. So please put that in the comment section down below. Matter of fact, I issue a challenge. Try to be as creative as possible. Roast me. It is funny. So roast me in the comment section down below and have yourself a great day.